Hi there, Michelle here, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm going to be going over everything that I have made in the last 6 months. Can you believe that 2026 is already halfway over? It went so fast. Up until like May, it went by pretty slow, and then May actually went by pretty slow, I think. But June went by so fast. I feel like we just started June and now it's already July the 1st. I thought it would be a good time to go over everything that I made in the last 6 months, and then that way this can be technically part 1 of that, and then in December, or I guess January, when the year is over, I'll do part 2 and everything I've made from now till then. And then that way I'm not stuck editing like a 4-hour video. It's also really hot out today. I should have filmed this on Monday and I just didn't feel like it. And then I should have filmed it yesterday and then again I just didn't feel like it. Now it's quite warm and now I gotta do it. I do have the air conditioning on, but I do have my mic, so I'm hoping that the air conditioning won't be picked up by the mic, but if you can hear it, I'm so sorry. It's very warm in here and I don't think I could be filming in here if the air conditioning wasn't going. Don't like the heat. I'd rather it be a snowstorm outside. I'm not kidding. I'd rather it be snowing outside right now. I'm going to start off in January and then work my way down to what I made last week. It is a few days later. I forgot to film this in the camper and it is a little too warm to go back out there. So if you are new to my channel and you like crocheting and yarn and knitting and thrifting in the 80s and this vibe, why not hit the subscribe button? If you subscribe, then you will be up to date with all of my latest videos and projects. The first project that I did was a thrift flip. This cardigan here, that used to be a sweater. Now I didn't make this sweater, okay? This is a knitted sweater. This is a little too advanced for myself at the moment. If any of y'all watch season 5 of Stranger Things, then y'all know Holly's teacher wears this exact cardigan in the show. And when I was watching the episode, I saw this and I'm like, that looks so familiar. And then I'm like, oh wait, I own it. However, I owned the sweater version. I thrifted this. When did I even thrift this? I thrifted this years ago. Maybe 5-6 years ago, I thrifted this, okay? And I have not done anything with it. I haven't even worn it because it was just a little too small. But I bought it because I thought it was so cute. It had these sheep on it. And I'm like, I need this. It's so cute. Again, it just didn't fit me. I thought maybe one day it would, or I would do something with it to fit me. And so when I was watching the show and I saw the cardigan version, I'm like, there's something called steeking and maybe I could do it with this. This sweater actually caused a lot of controversy on Facebook because I posted a reel on Instagram and then it got shared onto like my Facebook account for like that's paired with my Instagram. It went semi-viral and people were arguing that this is not what steeking is. I just cut it on the seam. If you actually took the time and watched the video that I made for it, then you'd know the process that I did. So basically what I did, I cut it in the middle, but I didn't just cut it. I had to, what did I do? Again, I do have a video about me doing this. I had to reinforce where I was gonna cut on both sides. So I went up one row, went up the other row, and did like these slip stitches into the knit stitches. And then I cut it in the middle, and then I took this to my sewing machine to really make sure that those stitches weren't gonna come undone. I'm still new to knitting. I don't know how to pick up stitches, and I wasn't gonna attempt it. So I crocheted a new button band on there. And I put these really cute little heart buttons, but I crocheted the button band on here and I'm very happy with the yarn choice I picked. I got it from Central Pearl. I'm trying to remember what it was. It's a yarn that I normally don't buy and it was very thin, so I had to hold it double. It matches it perfectly. Like if I held this back here and I'm like, oh, I bought it like this, y'all probably would believe me that I bought it like this. But up close, you can kind of see there is a little difference in the yarn color. I mean, I think I did a pretty good job for steeking. It was pretty funny that people were arguing with each other about this isn't steeking, this is steeking. If you don't think this is steeking, then I don't think you know what steeking is. Because I looked up many videos on YouTube on how to steek a garment, and I followed their directions. This is the only thing that people fought about because they didn't think I knew what I was doing, but I know what I'm doing, okay? And I think it turned out really well. Do some try-ons so you can see what it looks like in action. I'm not gonna talk too much about it while they're on me because I talk a lot about them while I'm sitting, so I don't need to like repeat myself. This is more for like the fit, and so you can kind of see what it looks like. So you can kind of see how the trim looks now. It is still a little small. Personally, if I were to have made this, I don't think I would make it any longer than like this. Like it would be like a shorter cardigan, which I think would look so cute. And maybe one day I will take the time and steek it again. But I don't think so, because then I lose all the cute little detail that's at the bottom. But this fits me so much better than the original one did, like as a sweater. It was just way too tight. I wish I had more time to wear it. I always forget about my sweaters, you know? It is very itchy because I'm pretty sure it's made with 100% wool. There's no tag on it. The tag's already gone. Very cute though. The next project is this here. This is the step-by-step sweater. This is my very first knitted sweater. Before I knit this, I've only made a scarf and a Sophie hood. That was it for my knitting journey. And then I'm like, I'll just make a sweater. I can make a sweater. So I made this one. It is really wide. I probably could have made it not as wide. I don't know my gauge for knitting quite yet. And I know I should have done a gauge swatch, and don't worry, another project that I want to do in the future, I've already done a gauge swatch for it, okay? Because with crocheting, I don't really need to do a gauge swatch. Hear me out. The reason why I don't need to do gauge swatches in crocheting is because I use the same yarn for pretty much everything that I do. And so I just have to go to an old project with the same yarn and kind of measure that and figure it out that way, okay? Like I only use like maybe 3 or 4 brands of yarn, and that's what I kind of stick to. I don't really need to do gauge swatches because I have like a bunch of finished projects that I can just gauge swatch from, if that makes sense. When it comes to knitting, I wasn't too sure what was going on. I don't think I should have made it as wide, and I kind of learned that lesson a little bit too late because then you'll see I made another sweater and I also made that a little bit too long. I also really got tired of knitting this, so I bound it off maybe a little bit too early than I should have. I should have made it a little bit longer. I don't think I'll take it apart. I would rather just get new yarn and redo it again. I think I might have worn it like one time. Here's the thing. It's hard for me to wear bulky sweaters in the winter. When I go out, I love wearing my like vintage jackets, my vintage coats. It's too much. Like I can't wear a heavy sweater and a heavy jacket. It's just too much for me because I don't really go out and hang out with people a lot. If I go out in the wintertime, it's to get an ice cap. I will get an ice cap year round, okay? I don't do hot beverages. I just don't like, they're okay. But I like my cold ice cap. So if I do that, I'm not gonna like wear a sweater and go out with a jacket on top for me just to be stuck with a jacket and sweater together. You know, if I hung out with more people and did more things, then that'd be fine because I could take the jacket off. But I don't. Maybe I should do that more. I don't know. I just like staying in the house and crocheting. So what am I going to do? This is my first knitted sweater. I used this cotton acrylic yarn. I can't really remember what it was. It was a carrot and cake. I really do like this. It kind of reminds me of like a gobstopper with the different colors. So yeah, this is my very first knitted sweater. This one I feel I made it too short. It could have been a little bit longer, and maybe I'll just go in and redo the ribbing on the bottom now that I am more comfortable with purling, because ribbing is like, well, for this pattern, it's like 1 knit, 1 purl, 1 knit, 1 purl. I also put elastic in this because I folded it over and put an elastic in. The sleeves are okay. This is okay. This isn't actually that bad. Compared to the roomy raglan, this doesn't seem as big anymore. But I've learned a lot from this. This being my first sweater that I've ever knitted, I have learned a lot of techniques from it, and I kind of know what I should be doing going forward with knitting projects. This isn't that bad. This is actually pretty cute. Why wasn't I wearing this? I don't know. I do think it's cute. I think it's because maybe the cinching I did up here, maybe the neckline could have been a little bit better. I don't know. I do think this is pretty cute though. This isn't as bad as I remember it being. The next thing I did this year was another Sophie hood. I really like this pink color. I thought it was so cute. I did not make a video for this one because I did make a video for the Sophie hood last year. It was one of my first like major knitting projects. I used the same needle. I used the same brand of yarn. Also, there's going to be a lot of fibers going around because I'm showing you a bunch of stuff with fibers in it. I wore this a lot. I really like it. I believe this was with Cascade 220. I love this color pink. If you watched my latest video of me making the granny square tote bag with all those really fun granny squares, I don't know if I mentioned that there was this pink color that I really wanted to use, but I didn't think I had anymore. I believe it was this one here. I bought 2 skeins of it, and I'm pretty sure I used all of it. So this would have been so pretty in those flower granny squares that I did. Didn't think I had any left over because I'm pretty sure this took almost 2 full skeins of it. Again, is the Sophie hood. Very beginner friendly pattern. If you're looking for something just to kind of like get you into knitting, I would highly suggest this because it's just the garter stitch, which means you're knitting on the one side and you're knitting on the other side. And you get this type of texture. It's also very stretchy and it doesn't roll up, whereas if you were to have knit it one way and then purl it the other way, it would start rolling up. The garter stitch is very beginner friendly. I really like it. It just kind of helps you with your knit stitch, especially if you're going to do like a sweater like in the round, meaning you're just going around and around and around. You're just going to be doing the knit stitch anyways. Again, I've only knit a few things, so that Sophie hood was a very good project to start with. Next up is this here. It is the granny square arm pillow armrest cover. I really liked this project. It was really fun. It got me to use my yarn stash. You haven't already noticed, I'm really trying to put a dent in my yarn stash and maybe not buy as much yarn. Again, here and there, I'm going to be buying new yarn, okay? That's inevitable. If I can use yarn that I already have, I'm going to try to do that first, okay? Actually, it's funny because I did actually buy yarn for this. I want to point out that this was made with all of the all-in-one granny square yarn by Red Heart from Yarnspirations. Did end up getting the grande or grand, however you want to say it, squares. I love them. I think they worked out perfectly. The color switching was really good too. I got the pink and orange one and then like the brown and orange one. Very retro colors. I loved these squares. They're so beautiful. They're really big, which I really liked. I will say that it looked a lot better when I first made it. Over time, it has really stretched out. It's really stretched out and it's really pilled up. To be fair, I do use it every single day. Okay, when I'm crocheting, I'm sitting on it, I'm using it. At the time, I feel like it fit it perfectly, and then it's just really stretched out, especially the back panel, really stretched out. So I feel that if one day I really want to, you know, make it tighter again, I probably would have to take the back panel out, because the back panel I did separate, which was just with the leftover brown yarn that I had. And I think I would redo the back panel so it wasn't so wide or so tall. This is what it looks like now. I did not weave in any ends. I really should have, because they all came through. I didn't think that they would. Very pilly. I do have some little shavers, so I could go over this. I just haven't yet. Very stretched out, and it's not like the pillow inside has deformed. This is just stretched out. The pillow inside is still the same shape that it was before I made it. This is the back of it, and it's, again, very pilly, very stretched out. And like I mentioned, if I were to take it apart, I would take this part apart first, because I just mattress stitched it together. This is separate than that, but I'd have to take the whole thing off, because I would even redo this section. I probably would take some stuff off. Like I might take this square off, and then this would just go like that. This was very tight at one point, and I do have elastic bands. That's how I keep it on top of the arms. I still really like it. It's so cute. It's just, it's seen some better days. And again, I use this every single day to crochet on. If I were to do another fixing crochet projects, this is probably the top of the list. Next up, this Filet crochet heart sweater. I made this, I think, around Valentine's Day. I wanted to do something like a Valentine's Day project, but maybe not make it too obvious that it's a Valentine's Day project. This is, what was it, like Big Twist 1 pound, or I don't know. It was the big twist yarn. I've never used it before, mainly being from Canada, sadly because y'all in the States, Joann's closed, but good for me, I get Big Twist now. I don't know. So this was my first project using Big Twist. I really liked it. It's a very soft acrylic. I love this blue color. I think it is so cute. This is actually from a book, and I can't remember what it's called, but I'll put a photo here. I got obsessed with Filet crochet last year. I did a lot of projects with Filet crochet, and so I got this book, which I did get at Central Pearl. Put a link for it in the description below, and I thought it would be perfect for a Valentine's Day project. I really like how it turned out. The hearts are really good. Now, the one thing I do have to say is, in the book, I'm pretty sure they want you to use a DK weight yarn. I used a medium 4 weight yarn. My hearts are a little bit bigger than they should be, so I wear a shirt underneath it just because it's very see-through, but this is all done in double crochet. My hair will progressively get messier and messier the more I try clothes on. I am wearing a black t-shirt underneath here. I got it from Michael's, and it's one of those like those very thin t-shirts, and I cut the sleeves off because sometimes like the extra bulk underneath my arm is just, it's too much. But I also didn't want a tank top or something that was more fitted like an undershirt. I wanted something that was like loose and light, and this is what I had. It's like just a black little tee. The hearts really stand out. Here they are on the back. The front, the back, the sleeves, they're all the exact same thing. This one's really cute. I should have really worn this one more. It's when I try them on for videos like this, I'm like, why have I not been wearing it? Right now I know why I'm not wearing it, because it's really hot out, but like, why haven't I worn it when I made it? I don't know. I can't remember the size I made of this. Maybe it's a medium, maybe it's a large. I don't remember, because again, I used a thicker yarn than the pattern suggested. And I like the cuffs. I like how cinched in they are, and they kind of give like that puffy sleeve look, which I am a big fan when it comes to crochet sweaters. Next up is probably the first tapestry project I did of the year. That would be the Heated Rivalry. I'm coming to the cottage tote bag. I love this. This is the bonus Hayfield DK that I talk about all the time because I absolutely love it. I love the detailing I can get in without it being a gigantic bag. Again, I'll bring this up. Okay, this was supposed to be a tote bag. It is a pillow because of how big it is. And I know it could be like a travel bag or whatever because of how big it is, but this was supposed to be a tote bag. I personally like using a thinner yarn to do tapestry projects, especially something like this. If it's going to be a smaller tote bag, I want smaller, thinner yarn. And then that way I can get all the detail that I want into this bag without it being so oversized. Another thing I did with this bag is I put loom fabric in, and if you watch the show, then y'all know why I put loom fabric in. And then of course I did put 2 little looms there. I thought this was a fun project. I use it so much. It's so cute. This is probably one of my favorite tapestry projects I've ever done, just because I was able to put all that nice detailing in here, and I think it just looks so cute. This would also make a good like wall tapestry or even a pillowcase. This is the Petite Knit Sophie scarf. I did this with Barocco Vintage DK. Can't remember the color, and I did it with a mohair. It's so soft. It's so pretty. This is another knitted project. I really like this. I wore it a lot for as long as I could until it got too warm out, because I think when did I make it? I made it at the end of February, so I had some use of it. I just like tying it around my neck. I thought it was so cute. I have bought yarn since then to make more of these. I just haven't had time to make more of them. This is also a really great beginner-friendly project because it is the garter stitch. It is the knit stitch on both sides, and it did not take me that long to do. And you know what? You probably could make this any time of the year. If you use like a nice light cotton or something, you could make a cute little scarf for the summer. Think of like, you know, Italy driving on a Vespa with like, you know, the little scarf flapping in the wind. That's the only way that I can really describe it. This was a pretty simple project, and I did like this one. Next up is this bag here. This was also done in the Red Heart all-in-one granny square, but this was the Sweethearts square, so there's a little heart in the middle. For this one here, it was the pink, the orange, and the green. The purple color is a join-as-you-go color that I had to get separately to put them all together, and honestly, I think without the purple, the squares would not look that good. Okay, so here's the thing about the squares. The pattern for the squares, not good. I did not like it. But when I made some alterations to the pattern to get it to where I wanted it to look like the heart, perfect. Okay, they worked out perfect like almost every single time. I'll put a photo here of my granny square heart pattern. So if y'all get this yarn, just use this pattern here instead of the one they give you. The one they give you, it just doesn't make any sense. I don't know who is gauged swatching these hearts. And some people have to go up like 3 hook sizes and they still can't get it to work. So I guess it just all depends on your tension. My tension is not very tight. Yeah, I had to make some alterations to the squares. I really like how it came out. I think they look so pretty. The other thing about these squares is I think that the yarn colors that they picked for the different squares, not their best work. They're okay. I picked this one because I thought it looked the prettiest, but I don't know why they would put pink and orange right next to each other. They should have done like pink and then the green and then the orange to separate it, because like from far away, the orange and pink kind of just blend into each other, and the hearts don't really stand out. That's the way that they should. I think they should have done better with their color choices. Putting this purple color with the hearts, it makes up for it. I think it looks pretty good. I think it does look really good. Like in person, you can see the heart. I just wish they picked better colors. I thought this bag was such a fun project. And this is probably the last project that I've done with their yarns, because they have not come out with any new yarns. And you know me, I love testing out novelty yarns, which this is definitely a novelty yarn. And I do have a playlist if anybody is interested, where I have all the videos that I've ever made for the all-in-one granny square yarn. It'd be interesting to see if they come out with a new one, but I haven't seen anything yet. It was a fun project, and I love how it looks like in the end, but it's only because I added that purple border. Without the purple border, I don't think I would have been the biggest fan of this. Next up is the Roomy Raglan knit sweater. This is the second knitted sweater that I've ever done. I made it way too oversized, and I remember in the video saying, oh, well, it's supposed to be roomy. It's okay if it's a little oversized. It's too oversized. I would love to take it apart and redo it, because this yarn was a little pricey. It was the Lang Cloud yarn, I believe, in the color rainbow. I have to fix a few things on it. I just don't think that this yarn is going to be the best yarn to take apart. I can see myself taking it apart and then it getting caught on everything. You know that type of yarn where you're trying to pull it apart and it just keeps snagging, and it's annoying. I don't really want to take it apart. I would like to try and re-block it, particularly the neckline. The neckline fit perfectly before I blocked it, and then I blocked it and it's just way too wide. I don't know. I think I can reblock it. I just haven't gotten to it yet. I know. When did I make this? I made this back in March. It is July the 1st, and I haven't done anything with it yet, so that's on me. I like how roomy it is. It's very nice and oversized. I just don't know how to style it. I think that's another problem with these projects that I make, is I just don't know how to style them. Yeah, this is really baggy. I didn't think it was going to be this baggy. I forgot how baggy this is. The collar definitely could have been cinched in more. This is a lot. I didn't think that this yarn was going to stretch as much as it did. It stretched a lot. I do like the billowy of the sleeves. I think it looks pretty cute. Like, I like it. Like, it's not that I don't like it. It's just I did the wrong size. I shouldn't have made it as wide as I did. New to knitting. I need to gauge swatch. Don't gotta yell at me. I know that. I know that now. Okay, I've learned my lesson. For me, I gotta learn my lesson the hard way in order for me to learn anything. I do think it is pretty cute though. Like, I like it. I even like the stripes on the arms, which is pretty neat. Now, if I were to take this apart and redo it, I would have to take apart the sleeves and the whole body. And this yarn was kind of expensive. Is that something that I'm willing to do? I don't know yet. I really would like to see if I can block this neckline in. I know it's a roomy raglan, but it's a little too roomy. I was working on a project, and then, as we all know, a certain fox cardigan became very, very popular, and I had to make it. I am talking about the Project Hail Mary fox cardigan. This one right here. I keep getting questions about this, how I made it and everything like that, so I'll just quickly do a little deep dive on that. This is a knitted Mary Maxim pattern. Mary Maxim has two patterns you can buy. You can buy one that has the fox's face on it, but you gotta buy the kit. So you gotta buy the yarn, and that's over $100. Or you can buy the wolf pattern, which this was modeled after. It's the same shape as the wolf, except it's a fox version. That is what I did. Because I buy from Mary Maxim a lot, I had some points, so I think the pattern was like $9 at the time, and it went down to like $5. So I only spent $5 on the pattern. Now, what I had to do is I had to go in and tweak it a bit. Now, for anybody who doesn't know, the pattern was just a grid, it was a graph, it was a chart, however you want to say it. And all that means, I'll put a photo here, is that it's a bunch of squares, and every square equals one knit stitch, or in my case, one single crochet. That is all that it is. And that's all I did. I also do want to put this out there. You are better at getting the pattern version, the one that is still a wolf, because even the new Mary Maxim fox pattern is not the same as the movie. All I did was I screenshotted a photo of Ryan Gosling's sweater, kind of zoomed in, kind of looked at like how the eyes were, how the mouth was, and then just colored in the squares on the pattern on Procreate. I make my own patterns. like my own grid patterns on Procreate with like a grid, and I just like color them in and everything, and then that way I can open a new layer and like highlight every row that I've done. What I did is I bought the pattern, I went into Procreate, I put it in there, and I made my adjustments. Now this one I do not have a pattern for. I unfortunately cannot release a pattern for it because copyright issues. I did not make the pattern. It is not my design. Can't consciously share that, okay? For the wolf to become the fox, all I did is his tongue was hanging out in the wolf version. I just took it out. His eyes were also a little bit more like angry, and I just made them a little bit more round. And then I believe I added a little bit more orange here. That was essentially it. Like, I didn't change anything about the shape of the wolf. I didn't do anything. This is the same from the pattern, okay? I just made a few little tweaks here and there. And even on the back, I didn't change it. I should have, because he still has the angry eyes. This was before I realized. I think all I did for back here is I took the tongue out, so he didn't look like he was like bloodthirsty, you know what I mean? So I just took the tongue out. But this is the exact same shape as the wolf, except instead of using gray or brown, I used orange. For the yarn, I probably actually could have used a smaller yarn. For the actual pattern, I believe they tell you to use like a chunky wool yarn. And I used, what was it? I believe it was Karen 1 pound yarn, so it's just a little bit thicker, but it's not a chunky yarn. And if I would have used, say, like a worsted weight yarn, say Loops and Threads Impeccable, which is slightly thinner than this, I think I should have used the Loops and Threads. But I loved this color too. This is actually the same colored yarn that I used for my grandfather clock that I did. For the pattern itself, in the knitted one, it kind of goes in for the sleeves. I just did a big square. That's all I did, was I just did a big square. And for the sleeves, big squares. And then you just sew them together and it becomes a shape. And then the other thing that I did was actually the first time I've ever done it, and it is a really cool technique. And I did redo it. I think in the first video I didn't do it this long, and then I have made some changes from this since you've probably last seen it. For the collar, what I did is I did ribbing, and I went up and down all the way around the collar, just like this, like from one side to the other. On the front part, I did my ribbing up, and I did my ribbing right into the collar. So when it's folded over, it gives this nice little edge, kind of similar to the knitted version. The other thing that I did do, and I got it done, and I know I mentioned this in my Monday vlogs way back when I did it, but in the original video, I had not put pockets in, but I put pockets in. I can put my hand in here, and it's in the pocket. And this is just fabric that I got from Fabricland, and I sewed it into a square, and then I sewed it into the pocket. That's it. And I hand sewed it, I think. Yeah, I think I just hand sewed it in. I think this is probably my favorite tapestry project I've ever made. I know I just said that about the Heated Rivalry tote bag. This has to be my favorite sweater cardigan tapestry project I've ever made. I know I've been talking about this for probably 10 minutes now. I get a lot of questions about this still, and I just kind of wanted to answer a few of them. I can't wait to wear this, okay? I got to wear this maybe a handful of times before it got too hot. This is another reason why I don't like summer. I can't wear this. It's too hot. I can't wear it outside. So I am waiting for September, late September, because I know sometimes it's still warm in the beginning of September, but like once that cool fall weather hits, I'm probably going to be wearing this every single day. And Mary Maxim also has so many other patterns that I would like to recreate into crochet. They have a fish one, they have a duck one, they have a goose one, and I'm pretty sure they have a loon one. Yeah, I would love to make all of them eventually. I actually made this before I went to see the movie, and I wore it to the movie because we went to the drive-in. I am so glad I made it before I watched the movie, because one, movie, amazing, I love it. It's such a good film. If I hadn't made this and I went in to watch that movie, the entire movie would have been somewhat ruined for me, because I would have been hyper fixating on the cardigan, thinking, where did that cardigan come from? I need to make that cardigan. How am I going to make that cardigan? I would not have been even paying attention to the movie because I would have been so focused on his cardigan. My cardigan is a lot longer. It's more of like a jacket cardigan. Honestly, I would wear it more like this than the regular cardigan because I can wear this as a jacket. It's because I crocheted it, and obviously a crochet stitch is bigger than a knit stitch, so it is very big. I'm pretty sure like the original one is only like this. And then of course we have the wolves on the back. Here is the collar like I was talking about. You see how it like folds over nicely and it gives that kind of like square shape. I love how this turned out. The sleeves, again, they were just squares attached to other squares, you know? And then it just kind of does this. I like the size of this. I think it works. Because of how thick the yarn is, I think it makes it a better jacket slash coat than it would be a cardigan. So like I could see myself wearing this in the middle of winter to go get like an ice cap and come home. Of course, I probably would put a jacket in the back of my car just in case. I wouldn't need to wear a jacket because this is so heavy. So this is more of like a jacket rather than a cardigan. I will wear this so much more as a jacket. So I did make these projects here. Unfortunately, they've kind of gotten lost in the camper. So this was me using some yarn that I've never used from Michaels before. So I was just kind of testing out these yarns. I made this really cute like scarf bandana. And then I did make this tote bag kind of with, I believe the yarn is called Gigi by Big Twist. And it was this really chunky yarn with these little pieces of yarn like sewn into it to make it look like flowers. And then I also did make a little blanket for my cat Totoro. These projects were just like a quick, simple project. I think I did it right after I did the fox cardigan, you know, just to give myself something small to work on that wasn't the fox cardigan. But yeah, they were just like, you know, testing out some yarn. Nothing really special about those. Also did a few fixing crochet projects. I did this tote bag here. It used to look like this and now it looks like that. I'll put like a side-by-side photo. And then I also did the same thing to this cardigan. This cardigan is actually the second cardigan that I've ever crocheted. And at the time, I did not know all the techniques that I know now, so I was able to fix those for this, and hopefully I'll be able to wear it in the fall winter time. When I was working on it, it was already like the end of April. Didn't really have a lot of time to wear it. After that, I was able to work on this cardigan here. It is the Flower Garden Cardigan by Design Realms. That's a lot to say. These little flowers that look like tulips. So gosh darn cute. Oh my goodness. Absolutely love this. I mentioned this sweater so much in my last Granny Square video because I'm like, I know I have this blue yarn. I don't know where this blue yarn is. I know it's somewhere. It turns out I did not have as much blue yarn as I thought. This one here I actually did wear a few times before it got too warm out. Basically finished this the beginning of May. So I didn't really get a lot of time to wear it because it got a little too warm out. This is also the one where I did not buy enough buttons. I thought I needed 6 and I needed 7. Probably should have realized that before I made the buttonholes. Made the buttonholes and then I'm like, well, I need to make the buttons for it. So I made 7 buttonholes and I only had 6 buttons. And I still haven't gone back to get it. I got the buttons at Len's Mill. I do need to go and look for more buttons. I just need one, and I believe they came in a pack of 2. I used the Barocco vintage yarn for this. I love the colors. I think it turned out so pretty. I'm pretty sure that the one that she has in the pattern is very similar to these colors, and that's why I wanted to do them in this color. Sometimes I find with patterns, I don't know if I'm more obsessed with the pattern themselves or the coloring that the creator used to make it. I just loved that blue and I'm like, I need to make a blue one. So I have. Now I would like to make a fall version of this for the fall. I have so many projects for the fall. I don't know if I'm gonna get them all done, but I would love to do it, but make them look like pumpkins. I just haven't figured out something good to do to make the pumpkins. I'm kind of thinking maybe a popcorn stitch and then kind of alter it. So maybe instead of it going the stems and then the flowers, I do like a popcorn stitch in orange, and then I love this green, so probably this green again in the V shape up top for like the stems of the pumpkin that connects them all, and then I would do a dark chocolate brown for the background. So that's kind of the idea that I'm going to go for. Hopefully I'll be able to do it this year. I have so many projects that I want to do and I just haven't had the time to do them yet. This cardigan is one of my favorites and I was able to wear it a little bit before it got too warm out. Why is it always I make my favorite things before the season I can't wear them anymore? I really like the fit of this cardigan. I think it looks so cool. I'm just remembering right now that I did the sleeves different than I would normally do. I actually had to do the sleeves in the round, like the pattern said. So instead of making a long square and folding it over and seaming it up like I normally do, this one, I did it in the round. So I would go one way and then I would go up and then I'd go back. It was a different way that I've ever done it. And I really like the outcome of them. I think they look so good. And doing the sleeve in the round, it actually told you to like taper it in as you went. So I got this really nice sleeve. Personally, I like the way that I normally do my sleeves. They're more billowy, so I think if I were to redo this in like a fall time color palette, I think what I'll do is I will follow the instructions of doing it in the round. I really like how there is no seam, which is very nice. Very much like, there's no seam on this either, that's right. I'm like, where's the seam on this? And I forgot it was one big panel. Like a seam like this on the arm or up here. It's just one continuous panel. But I think what I would do for my next version, if I decide to do this for the fall colors, I'm not going to taper it in. I'm going to make like one big tube, and then I'll cinch it in with the cuff and make it like really billowy. I think that's going to look really good. These buttons match the yarn perfectly. Like, it is the perfect color. I don't know what's going on here. Like, I wish it was up more. And maybe if I had that 7th button, it would have worked out. And then I can also like have it opened as well. But I like this one like buttoned up, like one button at the top. I think that looks pretty cute. Now, the last clothing item that I have made so far in this year, not the last crochet item, but the last clothing item, is this here. This is a Tunisian top. It is called the Trails Tee from Just the Worsted. This is in her new Tunisian Crochet Wardrobe book that she sent me, and I made this. I am obsessed with it. I just haven't worn it yet. I know it's the season to wear it, and I haven't done it. I think it's because once the summer hits, I just like wearing like these types of like, you know, like baggy t-shirts and jeans. Like, that's what my go-to is, and I kind of forget about this. I also had a little difficulty with the arms. I think that they were just a little too tight, but I've returned the yarn. I know I was talking in that video that if I wanted to redo the arms, I needed enough yarn to do that, and I returned the yarn. I bought an extra one thinking I would need it, but I didn't, so now I can't fix it because I don't have the yarn anymore, and I don't have enough yarn left over to do anything else. Because I think what I would do is I would redo both the sleeves, make them a little bit longer, but I just don't have the yarn for that anymore. This is such a fun pattern, and look how flowy this is. If you're not into knitting, but you want that kind of knit feel, definitely try Tunisian crochet, because you can crochet it, but you'll get that nice and light airiness of a knit sweater without it being so heavy and thick like a single crochet would be. And I also like this a lot better than the linen stitch. I did 2 projects with the linen stitch last year, because you can get it pretty thin with that stitch, but I don't like it. I don't like the linen stitch at all. It takes too long to do, and it does this thing where it starts like this and then it slowly tapers in, and I just don't ever want to do the linen stitch again. This is probably a good project if you want to do something that is nice and light and airy. Tunisian crochet. And this was just done in the simple stitch, and the simple stitch is basically like a single crochet. You know, if you're thinking about it in terms of crochet, it's the single crochet of Tunisian crochet. I now remember why I don't wear it. I should wear it more. It's just, it's a little warm. It's like right here. Like, I wish there was more stretch right here. There's like nothing. Like, if I do this, it feels a little uncomfortable like right here. I also did turn the air off in the camper because it did cool down, but now it's getting a little warm again, and this is the last one that I am trying on. It's very uncomfortable right now. I can't wear this in the summer, because if I'm out somewhere and I wear this and I'm starting to feel how I'm feeling right now, I'm going home. I'm not doing whatever I wanted to do that day. I'm going home. Like, I can't do it. It fits very nicely. I think it's very cute. I really like it. Like, I did a good job on it. I just wish I would have made the sleeves a little bit longer, because it's like a little tight right here. And if I think the sleeves were a little bit longer, they'd go here, and that would give me a lot more room right here. And right now it's getting really warm out, and I'm about to have a meltdown because I need to get out of this. And I need to go into the house where there's air conditioning. It's very warm outside today, and I don't like the heat, all right? I think I've mentioned that so many times. The pattern is great. The construction is really nice. I really like how it turned out. It's just I can't wear it in this heat right now because it's too much clinging to my body. I like things that are a little bit looser, and I should have made this a little bit looser. I did use the Barocco Modern DK cotton, and it's very nice to crochet with. I really like how it turned out. I think the colors are very nice. I just wish the sleeves were a little bit bigger, and that's all I'm going to say about that. Overall, this is a very cute top. I really like it. It's just not for really muggy days outside because it's clinging to me. And I think I'd be much more comfortable if it was a little cooler out. But overall, it is really cute. Next up, I made this blanket here. It is a granny square blanket stash busting project. It is currently in my little kitchen crafting area on the little couch, so it's in there. I think this turned out really, really good. I really like it. Now, this project was inspired by a square from my 2024 24 days of granny square project, and that is where for 24 days I have like a little advent calendar in a sense where you're just stash busting your yarn. I know a lot of people sell yarn advent calendars. This is funner and you get to use the yarn that you already have and it's free. What I did is I would assign each color a number and then I have my D20 dice and I would roll the dice and whatever number that corresponded to for the yarn color, that's the yarn that I would use. And I ended up getting this square here with this purple and green colors and I'm like, this is beautiful. I need to eventually make something with it. Originally, I was kind of thinking of making a vest, but when I started working on the squares, I realized it's a heavier acrylic and it's going to be a little heavier and I'm not going to wear it right now because it's quite warm out. So I decided to make it a granny square blanket and I think it works perfectly. I don't think I bought any yarn for this project because the green yarn for the Join As You Go border, I had bought too much of the yarn last year for my Christmas tree cardigan that I had to remake. I didn't have to buy any yarn for this project. But this was the perfect stash busting project because I got to use all the yarn that I already had. And I don't really make blankets a lot. And then after I made that one, I ended up making another blanket and I am currently working on another blanket. Is this just the year of me stash busting and making blankets? Like I said, after that one, I made this blanket here. It is the 6-day star blanket. Didn't think this would turn out as good as it did. I ended up making this blanket with the Karen anniversary cake, and I keep getting comments of people being like, how many things of yarn did you use? And it's like, if you watch the video, it's one. I used one because they're gigantic. It is such a big thing of yarn, and I've had that yarn for almost 2 years now, I believe. I got it in like 2024, and I had no idea what I was going to do with it. And it was just sitting there, and every time I would do my yarn cleanup, I never knew where to put it because it was too big to fit in the totes. And so I put it here, I put it there, I put it here. I put it all over the place. And then I'm like, you know what? I need to use it. I needed to get it out of my yarn stash. I need to make something with it. I ended up making the 6-day star blanket, which that one was a little bit of a doozy because I really had to pay attention to what I was doing because it was, yeah, they didn't have a grid or they didn't have a graph. And personally for me, I need a diagram. When I do a granny square, it's just so much easier for me to read and to look at. They didn't have it for the pattern. And I really wish they did because it would make things so much easier for me. And for anybody else who likes a good diagram for a crochet project. I don't remember how long it took. I don't think it took me a week. Like it was pretty quick. Honestly, I think it turned out really well. But yeah, if you have a Karen anniversary cake and you don't know what to do with it, I highly suggest the 6-day star blanket. After that, I made some bag charms. So I made a little goose. These are amigurumi. I probably could have done better. And in my comments, y'all told me what I could have done better. And I've taken that into account for the next time I ever do amigurumi, which is not often. So I made a little goose. And then I got these fun letters from Michael's so I could make little bead lanyards. So this one says knit. I still haven't gotten the right thing to attach them yet, I know. And then I made this little mallard duck, so cute. And I made one that says yarn on it. This one I've actually changed since the video, and if you watch my one Monday vlog, then you'll know that I did change it. So before, what I did is with the paracord, this orange piece of string here, I did put like a little knot in between each one, and then I realized I have wooden beads, which goes with this orange and like retro theme a lot better. So I did take it apart and I put these beads in. These wooden beads are from a old car beaded seat cover. I love my beaded seat cover for my cars, and if y'all know, I had this whole thing with my car, and unfortunately I did have to let that car go, and I did have to get a new one, which is a good thing. But the problem is now is the new car I got has like heated seats, and I like my beaded seat cover more than I want heated seats. So I don't know if I'm going to use the heated seats because I want to use my beaded seat cover all year round. I don't know. Maybe I'll just take it off in the winter and put it back on for the summer. But now I have to think about that because my other car didn't have heated seats, so that wasn't a problem back then. Anyways, I had these extra beads, so there's that. And then, of course, I made a little turtle, and he has a bunch of cat hair on him because I gave them to my cats. And if you watch Over the Garden Wall, then you'll know why I made this for my cat, Auntie Whispers. Mind you, I named him Auntie Whispers before I knew he was a boy. So I just call him Whispers, and I still call him Auntie Whispers now and then. Call him like Wisp, Whispers, Wispies, Boy, you know. Whose cat actually goes by their real name? Like, my cats have so many nicknames. But I made him this, and I put a little crunchy thing in there. If you watch over the garden wall, then you know why I made a turtle for Auntie Whispers, right? So much cat hair everywhere now. My next two projects I do not have anymore because I made them for people and now they have them. So the first one was this dog bag here of the dog Eno. This was for Jack Robbins, and he absolutely loved the bag, and Eno loved the bag, and I'm so glad that that project is done now because I was stressing out a little bit about it because I had to send it away. Because he lives in New York, I had to ship it to him, and I was just so worried that it wasn't going to get to him or that it was going to get lost, or I don't know. I don't like it when things are out of my control. I had to wait on that, but he did end up getting it. So that's actually why I made the lanyard video, because I needed a video while the bag was in transport to him. I did use the Bonus Hayfield DK yarn for the bag. I love using that type of yarn for my tapestry projects because you get so much more detail in them. But he loved the bag, and Eno looked so adorable next to the bag, and I am glad that project turned out good. And the last project that I did is this tote bag here, but it's also a pillow now. I used the Granny Square card decks with all these really fun Granny Square cards, and I kind of mixed and matched. And that video is probably the longest video that I have ever made. 56 minutes long. I didn't think it was going to be that long. I think the reason why that video turned out so long is because there was so much information that I wanted to share with y'all, because there was a lot of tips and tricks that I wanted to talk to y'all about and show y'all in the video, that the video just kind of got away from me. I think it's a pretty entertaining video, and I do give you a lot of like information on the squares. I also did a whole review on the cards. So there's 3 decks that were done by the same person and 1 deck that wasn't done by the same person, and the one that wasn't done is the Bright and Bold deck, which is the newest deck in the collection. I just had some issues with it. Obviously, it being done by somebody else, the gauge was completely different. Also, the instructions weren't as clear as the original 3, and the card itself was a little annoying because the pattern on the back, although it did give you a nice diagram, was done in colors that I wouldn't have done them in. My favorite one is definitely the Flower Granny Square card deck. I really like that one. My least favorite is probably the Bright and Bold, just because of the directions and stuff like that. But the Bright and Bold box does have a lot of really good patterns. Like, it's a really good deck, but I feel like it's a little bit more advanced and you need to know maybe a few more technical things than the original one, because the original one gives you a lot of information on the side and this one doesn't. So that's my review on the cards. And again, I do have a whole video doing a better review on the cards. Do have one more thing, but it is currently being crocheted, so I'm not going to count it right now. It is a tapestry blanket. Yeah, I'm doing a tapestry blanket. It's so much work and I am nowhere near being done. I really enjoy working on it though. I do love a good tapestry project. It keeps my mind going. I think I would rather do a more complex tapestry project than do a whole blanket in one solid color. I would go insane. Okay, would that one be a lot faster to do? Absolutely, but it is the most boringest thing ever. I said this in one of my projects, but like doing the back panel of like a sweater or a bag when I'm just using one solid color is so boring to me, and I don't like doing it. I like having color changes. I like keeping my mind busy rather than just going back and forth and back and forth. Like, not my favorite. So with this tapestry crochet bag that I am doing, it's taking longer because it's a lot of color changes and a lot of bobbins are getting tangled up, but I am enjoying the process of it. In the comments below, please let me know what project that I made this year was your favorite, or maybe your favorite video to watch. Also, let me know if I've inspired any of y'all to make any of these projects. I think that does it for this video, so y'all have a good day now.